So yeah, and that was what, a 3-hour drive, so you can go see all those things. It depends what you want more. I don't know if I went through like a series of like 19 surgeries in like a 9-month period one time.
No.
And I had to travel down to UC Davis for all of it, for the checkups, like probably, I put so many miles on my car that year. And somebody was like, don't you just hate that we don't have that up here in Redding? And I literally was able to say, no, it's okay. It's only 2 hours away. I've chosen to live here and I love it here. And you can't have everything. I think the one of the things, the discussions I'm constantly interested in is how we grow well, because we're going to continue to grow. And some people don't want us to change and some people do. And, you've got the rodeo that wants to keep their grounds, which I'm for. You've got, the Civic Center, and now we've got the tribe's going to be building a whole new place for all of that kind of entertainment and stuff too. And like,
I didn't know anything about that, so you might need to explain that in a minute.
Okay.
But go ahead, keep going.
So we've got, all these ways we can grow, but like, what's the best way we can do that? What's the best use of our river? What's the best use? And some people are like, let's be the next Bend, and some people are like, let's not. And I understand that tension. I helped with a project right before COVID that was called the California Adventure District. And my friend Ryan had ran from the ocean to Mount Shasta, 330 miles. I don't know if you had heard about that. Don't try to
Like
run.
in 5 days?
Yeah, a couple days.
The joke was Aaron Hayes told me about that when we did an episode, and he said, did it in 5 days. And I go, oh, he broke my record.
Because you were about to go run 330 miles.
I don't run 3 miles.
Yeah, I could do that.
I run to the store, and that's in a car.
In your car. Yeah, so he did that. And so I had actually signed up to be his head volunteer. So he had sold tickets to many people to come do this race. The long-term goal of that was that was going to be a flagship event to bring the Adventure District up here. And it was working with all the counties up here because like billions of outdoor money comes into California. Only a couple million trickles its way up here.
Yeah.
We have the best. We have the best. We have rock climbing. We have mountains. We have fly fishing. We have, like, you name it, right? Like, that's kind of wild. Here was my constant tension. Do I want to bring attention to how gorgeous it is up here? Do we want to bring?
Do you want Redding to have a population of 550,000?
Right. And so that's the tension, right? And if so, and if that's going to happen, how do we do it well? And I think 2020, highlighted that. I don't know about you, but like right now, Burney Falls is closed because so many people wanted to get outside and they've worn down the trails. And like
we used to go like 2-3 times a year.
Yeah, you go up to Heart Lake and they've had to reroute the trails. Like so there is that tension. And I agree that like those discussions need to come from a lot of different angles.
One of my favorite
how do we do this?
Americans, for quotes, Thomas Sowell, there are no solutions, there are only trade-offs. So whatever we do, there's going to be a repercussion to it, and it's not always going to be perfect. It's
right.
Yeah. So what do you want? The balance between a really robust economy and the byproduct of that economy, like the fact like, okay, there's going to be infrastructure,
and
there's going to be usage.
To see the holes. One of the things about being friends with someone who's in Senate or Assembly is like the morning conversations we'd have. Today I'm going to deal with this bill on this and this and this and like such random different things that you're like, how'd your brain even move from healthcare to schools to this to the, one of the things, the Susanville prison, when it closed in the last couple of years.
I didn't know it closed.
Megan right away was like, oh my gosh, I got to get money for the schools. And I'm like, what? I'm like, what do you mean? Well, if you take people out of a town, if you close a prison, you're going to lose all the jobs. Those people are going to leave the town. And because the school doesn't have butts in the seat, that wouldn't have occurred to me. All that to say what you're saying. If we bring all these people up here, do we even know all the trickle down? Do we have the wisdom to think about all the trickle down? I mean, the amount of information that goes into that, into holding these kind of seats or seeing those kind of things, and then talking to the people from the top to the bottom who know, like, that's what I'm interested in.